right. Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs. Welcome to episode 54 of the Gundam Explained podcast. I am Adam Blue. Happy to be here. It's always exciting to do this every Thursday, especially Steven. Steven, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Doing well. Long day. I'm ready for this week to be over already. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, it's always good when we hit the Thursday because then, Friday is right around the corner because, work can be busy, but then I say it all the time. If you look in the description of the link, Steven's YouTube, I'm on his podcast, Midnight Hatter podcast on Wednesdays. And yesterday's discussion was cool. I mean, really, if you're into video games, it's really a cool discussion because we get to explore a subject that I'm just totally into.
Oh yeah.
Not just talking about playing the games, but development behind it, sometimes the design philosophies or just the industry in general.
Yeah. We get into theory and all kinds of stuff. Last night in particular, I think was probably one of my top two favorite conversations that you and I have had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And what's also cool is, you do other things like the tabletop, the Gundam, Gunpla. So check out the Patreon because there's some cool stuff he has related to that. But that's where the crossover is, the Gundam stuff. So then on Thursdays, Gundam Explain gets to do its thing. And so, yeah, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. And then there's the audio versions that will be up on Fridays. So check all that stuff out. Also, make sure to check the links in the description for the Discord. The Discord's awesome. There's so many events and things going on. There's even a Patreon where we do movie night. Tomorrow we're watching Kukuru's Doan's Island. Or no, was it tomorrow? No, Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, I get my days confused all the time. But
I know I'm ready for the weekend too.
Yeah, that's what it is. No, but yeah, so cool. I felt like when it comes to Gundam, we had this week of just so much going on, especially video game related. So,
yep.
I feel like there's some video game stuff that I might dive into, and especially when it comes to GBO2 because the Unicorn's been released and that's pretty cool. And then we're going to talk a little bit about different the fighters. I think fighters is the wrong word. The ships. I don't know. I mean, a mobile suit denotes something that is a mech, but what do you call craft? Aerial?
I was gonna say in my Gundam tabletop conversion for D&D 5e, I always call them combat crafts. So that encompasses tanks and planes and fighters and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But
yeah, because ship stuff is cool, but there's different types of that ship stuff.
Right.
And then really, I just wanted to look at the chat real quick before we start. Ian, Robert, good to see you guys. Jedi Sailor, Lucas. Who else we got here? Rogue, New Type, Neon Wave, Metal Neo, Goose. Yeah, Goose. And cool, great to see you guys. Always awesome time to have you guys in the chat. Can't wait to really get into it. I noticed everyone talking about the music. Yeah, from Thunder Force. Yeah, love that.
Now I still owe your subscriber Struth something for calling out Thunder Force a couple of streams ago. I believe it was it was your 1 year anniversary stream, episode 52. I got to come up with something real nice to send that way.
Yeah, because that's a good one. Even with the previous song I had up from the Fist of the North Star game, which is really good. That music was cool anyway. But yeah, let me here jump into something real quick. Just the videos that came out this past week. So there was the demo for the gameplay of the demo of the SD Gundam Battle Alliance game. I think tomorrow it's going to be available everywhere, but initially I downloaded it on the Singapore, or maybe it might have been the Japanese, I think Singapore, PSN to play it. That game plays up. That was a lot of fun. I cannot wait for the full game. And then I put up the Q-Blade gameplay. The Q-Blade is actually a fun unit to use in GBO2. I put some gameplay of that up. And then Robot Spirits Rigizi Custom. That was an awesome suit. It's just an awesome suit. I love it. And no missing pieces that time. That one was fully intact. And then the Season 2 reaction of Gundam 00, which... Man, I love how Gundam 00 turned out in terms of just diving into another AU. I've loved UC for so long. Seeing the beginning of some other AUs that I haven't fully watched. And then with Wing, you know, my expectations weren't the highest, but Double O, that
And now, are you going to go straight into the Double O movies?
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Is there more than one movie?
I maybe, I don't know.
Oh, cool.
I
Yeah.
I I, I I've never watched the Double O movie.
Oh,
What is it?
something Trailblazer, I think,
Yeah,
something like that.
Awakening the
Yeah.
Trailblazer, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll need to. I need to get to that soon because I want to. I'm actually curious to see what happens next because they really tidied things up in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, be interesting to see that. So yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do next because I've been watching a little bit of Seed. I'm maybe 5 or 6 episodes in. It has cool stuff. It's not pulling me in too much, and I cannot stand the animation of the faces of the main characters. Like I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
looking at sometimes.
Same face syndrome.
But
Basically, you just have to use hairstyles to tell everybody apart.
what's weird about it, and I need to take a screenshot of this when I was watching Seed. I forget which episode, and I think his name is Kira, right? The main guy.
Right.
There was, you see their faces where they don't have noses and their eyes are gigantic. But it was in the episode, it went to another scene, another shot of him where his eyes were actually smaller and he had more of a nose. And I was like, what is. I don't know if they like added animation in later because I know these are like the HD versions or something, but I'm gonna have to take a screenshot and share that because I don't know why it's just jarring in the first place.
Yeah. You don't see those kind of proportional errors in modern Gundam series. That's definitely a 0079 kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, exactly. That's how we got Cuckoo's Doan's Island,
Right. Long snout.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that stuff is cool. I wanted to look into the chat real quick. And you know what? No, I might do the call-in waiting room if we have time, everyone. I might do that. But I wanted to look at something. Okay, yeah, Lucas Garrett, thank you. There's just one. There was a sequel planned that had Graham Acker join Celestial Being, but it's been on hold for a while. Very cool.
Yeah.
So there's the one movie, but then potential another one. Okay. I want to move on real quick. Some Patreon questions. This is pretty good because I haven't really had time to think about it, so this will be kind of fun. What is a mobile suit or weapon you don't like in a particular series that you would like to see replaced with another suit, weapon, or removed completely? I'll give you a second, Steven, and I'll say the first thing that comes to mind is as much as I like Victory, and I know they were doing it for toys, but some of those wheel-based vehicles are just out of place. It makes it look
goofy.
Yeah. If that wasn't there, it'd probably be easier to take more seriously. I don't know. And then
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and as for weapon, sometimes there's these crazy, I don't know how to explain it. The melee stuff. Sometimes it's weird to think like a claw. Like I'm not against claws. Let me just say I'm not against claws, but sometimes the claw-based looking mobile suits or the weaponry that's more of a melee thing sometimes doesn't make sense in context of space battling. Because a lot of times it has to do with like momentum and stuff, and in space I just don't know how that works. So sometimes when I see
swing
that
down with like, if you're in space and you swing down with one of those like heavy anti-ship swords, it's when two metal objects collide in space, it's not gonna. There's not enough pressure for the object to cut into it. It would just bounce off of it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like
that's some of the things I think about.
apply.
Yeah, the physics. Yeah, and I guess that's a good point with a sword. That's why maybe sometimes it'd have to be a heated sword.
Right.
Maybe that's why they do.
Beam saber makes sense.
Yeah. So the heat stuff in the beam saber. Yeah. So So when it is like just plain, just blunt stuff, I guess I don't know. But what about you? Have you thought about that before?
So, I mean, I haven't given it a whole lot of thought, but off the top of my head, what's funny is the first thing that comes to mind is the mobile suit Capule or Capule. I always say Capule. and not necessarily in Unicorn where you see it, for the first time in sort of UC. It technically, I guess, it exists prior to Unicorn, but that was the
Just
first
not
time we saw it in animation.
right.
In Turn A Gundam, they use the Capul, and it's slightly spelled differently, but it stands out as sort of the most goofy looking mobile suit, even compared to like the Sumo or the Turn A Gundam itself. I accept the mustached Gundam before I accept this sort of goofy ball shaped. It's basically just like a giant Haro, but with Hygog limbs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't seem very hydrodynamic compared to like some of the other aquatic amphibious mobile suits that we see in the series. It's like, whose idea was this?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point, and this might be a little controversial, but I remember when I was first watching 0079, I thought the Zaku's looked a little goofy. Zaku 2, that, the main ones we see. I thought those looked a little goofy, and I was like, I don't know, but I think it was understanding the interpretation and then just how it was drawn in animation versus how you would see it in art. I started appreciating it more. And it wasn't really until the Gyaradoga that I really understood, by seeing like the evolution, you can kind of see of what the original Zaku 2 was going for.
Right.
It almost like, there's German helmet type things. And there's even variations of the Zaku 2 that have that. And so once I wrap my head around that, it lets me appreciate it a lot more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think,
go ahead.
No, that reminds me, because like these mass-produced grunt suits, like I think those need to be cool looking in whatever way.
Yeah.
Maybe cool looking in terms of it's cool to have an army of them, or cool looking in terms of those look like bad guy, like awesome bad guy mass-produced ships or mobile suits.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see Webfox mentioned that the Capul was first in Double Zeta Gundam for like one episode, which actually brings up another terrible mobile suit, which was the Gaze, the GEZE, the mobile suit from like the first couple of episodes of Double Zeta Gundam. It's the one that Yazan uses.
Oh yeah, okay.
In the junkyard, and it kind of looks like a budget General Grievous with its forearms. It's
No, that's a good point. It's funny. I unlocked the suit in GBO2 the other day, and I forget the name. But then I realized there's a handful of suits that were made around the Double Zeta era that I don't think people ever talk about. We haven't explored much. Like the one you just mentioned is a good example. Those would be good to look at sometimes because, yeah, there's a lot of suits in Double Zeta that just, get overlooked. Okay. And another question here. Is there a suit that you'd like to see made into a metal robot Damashi or a humanoid figure from the series made into a SH Figure Arts? For Steven, is there a kit that you would like to see made that hasn't been made, or a kit redone? So, Steven, I'll let you get the kit one real quick if you want to.
Sure. I mean, this is probably an obvious answer because it's one of the 3D print projects that I have kind of in the hopper right now. I have way too many projects that I'm working on for any given time. But either a high grade or an RE100 scale Gundam 7th without the full armor, equipment. I think that it's so interesting to me that they chose to make a full armor high grade Gundam 7th, but then not only can you not take off the full armor components to reveal the regular Gundam 7th underneath, but they don't even have a regular Gundam 7th to go along with it. So it's like...
Yeah, that is interesting. Sometimes it is interesting when they announce there's a suit they have, and it's cool, but it's like, well, couldn't they have done this version first?
Right. Yeah. It'd be like saying, we're going to make a Zaku cannon kit, but we're not going to make the Zaku 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
What about you?
As for a kit that hasn't been made, I think that's where you have more knowledge than me. Because a lot of times when I think there's not a kit for something, I'll search and I'll find it, and I'll be like, oh, okay. So I haven't really come across anything. But as for the metal robot Damashi, like honestly, after getting the Hazel and then even this Rigazi custom, I feel like I've got some of what I think are the coolest suits. Although, here's the thing with the metal robot Damashi, like they're the robot spirits. There's the plastic ones and there's the one with the metal joints. And I almost feel like I, I would love for them to just take a classic Robot Spirits, I guess, style one and make it a metal robot, much like a GPO2. I think would be a good example because that's like a really cool, unique, but like heavy and noisy design. But with the metal integrated in all the different parts, would I think make it stand out? Because one thing about that GPO2, the Robot Spirits, is it has that huge shield that's the cooler for the nuclear reactor, and it makes the joint floppy. Well, it doesn't. It just the weight of that, and so it's like, oh, that's a good example of one that needs a metal structure to it.
That's a very good analysis. That's one of those sort of structural components that a lot of times, and this happens in the Gunpla as well. I think that the Goof Custom is one of those ones that the more recent editions of the Goof Custom have like a special double jointed arm in order to support the Gatling shield.
Yeah.
So something like that, obviously, like you said, if it's a metal joint, then that's going to offer a little bit more support. Some of those things kind of fly under the radar, unfortunately.
Yeah. But also, when it comes to like the figures, and I think I mentioned this before, I would love to be for them to have like a Pilot Amuro figure, 6-inch. SH Figure Arts would probably be the best in terms of the anime style, because I really like a lot of these high-end action figures.
And the SH Figure Arts, I mean, the articulation on them is insane. So
yeah, Mafex is also another good one. They've been doing the X-Men, but yeah, I could just picture an Amuro pilot figure. You could take off the helmet. They would have to have a Sayla pilot figure, and then a Char, and I could just see the Amuro coming with a Haro, for instance. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. And there are some like action figures I've found, but they're usually of not the quality you expect from like you get from the actual mobile suits, like in the Robot Spirits line or Gunpla. So yeah, if anyone happens to know where to get some, or if there were some action figures of some of the main characters. Now I do have the 4-inch, which are actually awesome. They don't have an Amuro yet. There's a Sayla, but I don't think that's released yet. I have that pre-ordered, and I have a Char. But I have how many? 6 Federation soldiers and 6 Xeon soldiers. That to me, that's something to army build.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it for that. Yeah. Yeah. Anything you would want to add? I know you don't really collect the metal robot, Damashi.
No, that's a little outside of my price range.
Yeah,
but,
that is the
but
thing.
I mean, that said, anything that I would get in that line, they've already made.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost gotten to the point where I feel like, I guess if anything, it would be more Advance of Zeta stuff, which they have done. There's an add-on pack for the it's that weird named Zeta add-on for the Hazel. That was released that went up for pre-order a few months ago, I think. Yeah. Nice. I forget what it's called, like the Herder or something like that.
The Herdudu.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
I could be butchering the pronunciation, but I know that it's
anyone could be. I'm gonna when that comes out, I want to like kind of do a little bit of research in it to really understand what is it that I have spent all this money on. Because I can't even pronounce it yet. I pre-ordered it. But all right, GBO2. So what's been cool lately in GBO2, especially this past week, was like all the free mobile suits. Every day it's been like free stuff. Even if you log in today, you get 2 free 10 spins or whatever you call that. And man, did I get a bunch of cool mobile suits, but no Hazel. And no Unicorn, which was released today. How about that? Isn't that pretty crazy?
You, man, they listened to the podcast because you and I were just talking about it. I think maybe 2 weeks ago, where it was like, how are you going to throw out some of these obscure mobile suits and you still haven't gotten into the Unicorn? And here it is.
I know it's crazy. It costs $700, so it's up there with, I
thought it was going to be $750.
Yeah,
we thought it was going to be the first $750, but
exactly. I was thinking that like this has got it, but no, that's cool though. What's cool though is even though you might not win this on your free rolls you do because then you have to pay. Oh, I think it also gives you 39 tokens if I'm not mistaken. So you technically can do one roll and then you would have to because there's a half off and then the other is so luckily they give you a bunch of tokens anyway. And then they even have something which I'm probably going to buy is there's this DLC you can buy that's like half off the normal price to get a bunch of tokens, and you also get some pilot cosmetics, I believe.
That's today. Sorry, Adam, I gotta go. I'll be
Oh, okay. I was like, fine, if you want to play, yeah, no, but so I'm gonna, I'll probably this weekend buy that, but it's just one of those things. What I'm trying to say is like I sometimes I don't like to pay for this stuff, but I think that's something where it's kind of enough of a value, and then I'd also be at least giving money back to the developer because I've been having a great time with this game. Yeah. So, but you don't play it too much though, like you did at one point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played pretty regularly before the Western release. I had the Japanese PSN account and would play. I've slowed down a little bit recently. I just log in and do my dailies and sort of casually. But they keep bringing in more content and it makes you want to keep coming back. So this is probably a subject for over on my show, but one of the things that I think you and I need to talk about is like monetization for these types of games. You mentioned that you don't like to necessarily spend a lot of money on DLC or these kind of like coin packs and things like that. But what can a game do to make money in order to continue to sustain and produce content for the fan base?
Yeah. I would even say GBO2 has more content than typical pay games. I mean, there's like
I agree.
New suits every week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It has like the mission. There's the battle simulator. You can actually go in and do missions where you can play as some of the newly released suits. So if you don't win it in one of the spins or whatever, you can actually jump in and play it, and you can play it in a mission where you usually play against a suit that's not even in the game. It's just for the special mission, and then you can unlock stuff, and you can do it in co-op. That's something we probably need to do because because they even had it where you'd fight the Psycho Gundam. Now I was even told there was one where you fight both the Psycho Gundam and the Mark II. I must have missed that because they'll have these missions come in that are story based, and then they'll rotate them based on what's going on. So that's actually a really cool aspect for people that aren't crazy about playing online with others because it is kind of hard. There's at least this kind of like base like single player component.
Yeah. If you're not into the PvP, then you have the simulator missions, or you can always pick up Code Fairy.
Yeah, which I forgot to mention. I've been
Code
playing
Fairy
that.
gives you a whole bunch of free content for GBO2. So
yeah, that's a good one, and I've been playing that a lot lately. Actually, it's really good. I love actually how hard it is. I think I was playing too much of that side stories, and it's like super easy.
Yeah.
So, and Code Fairy is super hard. So, because I'm trying now. Originally, I was beating the missions on normal, and that's how you can actually rank. But then if you just play on easy, it doesn't count. And so I'm going back now, beating the ones I couldn't beat on normal. Because that game is tough.
Yeah. I wish that they'd bring that pilot awakening to GBO2. If they could bring that mechanic, like the fairy step and the.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is a good idea. It's almost like you can unlock them as perks and you can equip them.
I mean, especially if they somehow tied it to some of the pilot gear that you can unlock for pilots in GBO2. If you're wearing like a Xeon helmet, you get this ability. If you're wearing a Federation uniform, you get this ability. Kind of something like that.
That's pretty cool because that's almost what is kind of a standard now in these competitive games is where this like ability then charges up and then you can use it, and usually use it a couple times in a match. It's usually not, or a few times maybe. I don't know. It's not like all the time, but like some of the abilities were like HP buff, which that can help.
Mhm.
Let's say that like your support's about to get destroyed, and you can try to go help them out. And that's what's interesting because GBO2 is so focused on awareness of where everyone is at all time. Think of adding the aspect of doing like specific specials for specific units that changes the dynamic of the strategy, which would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. If you haven't played GBO2, jump in because you get a bunch of free suits. And yeah, Zionic Friend was asking, can you recommend me GBO2 if I don't want to play PvP nor spend in gacha? Yeah, especially right now because they're giving away a bunch of free suits. And it might even be where you go in daily, but you're going to get a bunch of free spins. And then, yeah, they have the battle simulator. So I think it's worth it. Yeah, and then they added a 1v1 and 2v2 mode. Which is actually really cool. So
that is awesome. I'm definitely gonna log in and play some of that. So
okay, cool. All right, well, yeah. Oh, Lucas Garrett is saying a metal build EXS Gundam or a silver bullet suppressor would be something I would save up money for. Yeah, it's good. All right.
Now, how much would the extra arms for that silver bullet cost?
Oh yeah, yeah. That. Well, yeah, that would be a cool gimmick though with it, at least. So, all right. Okay, so what are some of your favorite ships in Gundam? Either jet fighters, capital ships, carriers, etc. Because, you know, I wanted to put this up and ask everyone because that's a neat aspect of Gundam that I liked outside or before of Gundam. Like, I got into Star Wars because I thought the space battles were epic, like especially the way they were, how the design of like the X-Wing, the TIE fighter going against the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff is cool. And so getting into Gundam, even though it was because of the mobile suits, I saw that it had, especially from the original 0079, they had the cruisers, the carriers, the white base, the core fighters, all that stuff. Sleeping Dutchman. Also, I like the Hammerhead ship from Iron-Blooded Orphans, but I can't remember its official name. It's a beast and a good blockade runner, plus it appears safe enough for raising children and accommodating enough for a family of 20 plus women. So it has to have lots of quality bathrooms on top of needing a Dane sleeve to actually take it down. That might be something else. The Turbine's ship is an outer space tank. So that's a good one because that's kind of like thinking more of living conditions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's a 3-bedroom apartment in UC 0079?
Oh yeah, yeah. But you know, I've watched the first episode of IBO, but I haven't really gotten to it. But I guess this is what he's talking about, which that looks really cool. That is a cool ship design. Yeah, the Hammerhead aspect makes sense.
And it looks like it could enter atmosphere. Like it looks like one of those ships that's designed to break atmo and create some shielding.
That's a good yeah, it doesn't say, there's actually not too much information about it. Usually it takes time for people to create all this lore that then shows up in something. All right, I love the Argama and those spinning residential blocks it has. Yeah, from Zeta.
Yep, very cool.
Yeah, that was very unique to see. I remember when I was first watching Zeta and I didn't understand what was happening. It was like, is the animation messed up? No, that's just part of the, yeah. I was like, no, that is actually cool.
And the design of it's so interesting because it's kind of asymmetrical.
Yeah.
The metal beams connecting it to the center of the ship are off center, and it's a pretty cool gimmick.
Yeah, because it looks like it's functional. You know, the way it's designed in a way. All right, Santo Bell, big fan of the Nail Argama as the capital ship, the Garuda as the transport ship, and the Takemikazuchi as a ship. One, I don't know if I said that right. Two, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? The
Takemikazuchi?
Let's see.
Not familiar with it. Wait, what?
Oh, well, let me. So it's from Japanese mythology, which is cool. Here we go.
Well, and so it's like the Garuda is from, I want to say it's Indian.
Oh, really? The name?
Yeah.
Oh.
The name, the Garuda airship from Gundam is named after like an Indian mythological bird, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Like 0083 and the flowers.
Yeah.
But I like, yeah, so this Takumi Kazuchi, that's actually a cool design because that's like, yeah, that's really cool. It's almost like an evolution of what we got from 0079 because it's kind of taking real world things and applying it. So seeing like an aircraft carrier here, but mobile suits launch from it. I haven't
Pretty
seen
cool.
that yet. Yeah, that is actually pretty cool. Oh, Destiny. So that's specifically, not just Seed, but Seed Destiny. Okay. For all those Destiny fans in there. Oh, yeah, Jedi Sailor saying, yeah, that's Hindu. Vishnu's giant bird mount. Oh, very
So
cool. Yeah. Oh, well, Lucas Garrett, I can't wait for you to eventually get into IBO, Adam. Oh, good. I guess based on my commentary, if IBO seems like it'd be something interesting to hear, yeah, I can't wait. Oh, and Neon Wave has some that he's posted here. Mobius Zero from Seed, Skygrasper from Seed, Star Build Booster, Build Fighters, Fat Uncle from 0079, Hammerhead IBO, and Victory Gundam's Core Fighter, if that counts. Yeah, that does count. That is, I actually have it back here. Well, you guys can't see. It's behind me. I actually have the Victory Core Fighter. Oh, and I have this Core Fighter, Robot Spirits, lasers shooting from it. I love this. Like, this is just, cool. I know, it's just my jam. Let me go back to this real quick. So Sleeping Dutchman, because, yeah, he had something from before. Also, the Diva from Age can adapt and learn like the Gundam using a dock in the Age system, which is OP. And even though it's now the 5th one I listed, I think my pick is the Jupiterus. That thing can travel to Jupiter, produce its own mobile suits, and you can live on it for years. That's actually a good one. Plus, it has Paptimus.
Yeah, there you go.
That is actually a good one. I like how he says, and even though it's now the 5th one I listed, I think my pick is. I love that. That's like a Gundam fan right there.
Yeah.
And then he had another one too. He's like the General Revel or the Neologramma from Double Zeta, since it's a later generation Pegasus class ship, and it still has Captain Bright. Of course, that enormous Dogos Gear class. Dogos Gear. I mean, yeah, Gear. I remember
Dogos Gear. Yeah.
Yeah, when I would see that and tried to memorize how to say that. Class of General Revel probably wins for me. Even if it had less nostalgia, Love the Thing is huge and full of mobile suits, like a mobile Torrington base minus the marine suits. Yeah, I like that. That's some good stuff. Jedi Sailor. Mine is the Core Fighter for the X-1 Crossbone Gundam. Its rear thrusters also double as the mobile suit's backpack while it's docked and gives that distinctive skull and crossbones design. Yeah, that's. I think that's a good one. I think, and that's the thing. It's not underrated. Like, no one dislikes Crossbone. I think.
Long live that Jolly Roger. That thing is.
There's something about that which it feels like an anime is inevitable. In like the real grade, and Jedi Sailor would know this too, because I remember she recently built the real grade. That real grade Crossbone is just amazing, and that Core Fighter is so highly detailed. The idea of the thrusters of the Core Fighter being the backpack thrusters, that's awesome.
Yeah.
John Candid, White Base and the Argma, because they're the best ships that fought against the Xeon Titans and Neo Xeon. I mean, good point.
Hard to argue with that.
Metal Near, the Pegasus class ship, and Stardust Memory. I do like the Thunderbolt. Oh, I got the Thunderbolt manga, and I do know there are some other ships there, but that's the only thing that I know. But I still like that one and the original one from the original Gundam series. Yeah, because Thunderbolt adds things and details them pretty nicely. Double O's Ptolemy, which that's a good one. And then Mobius Zero and Exus, which, yeah, not familiar with. Do you know Mobius Zero?
No, not familiar.
Oh, I think I looked this up earlier. This is another Seed thing. Okay.
There you go.
Well, yeah, a lot in Seed to look forward to. Yeah, what are some I pulled up some ships here because I think one of the main interesting things about the ships in Gundam, especially because it was introduced in 0079, is that core block system, which I love it. And it's weird how it kind of went away. What's weird is it went away and then shout out to the Wave Rider. That's a good ship because it went to that method where it's just transforming. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you like better, Steven? Like the core block system or the transforming?
Well, you know me. Personally, I prefer the variable mobile suits, but I do understand the appeal of the core block because the core
Yeah.
block can be used as, a ejection, like emergency eject hatch, right?
Hmm.
If your mobile suit's disabled, you just pop off the limbs and fly off in your core fighter. The Zeta Gundam's not going to do that. If you take out the Zeta Gundam's wings, it's not going to be able to transform anymore. So, I really enjoy this about the Gundam lore, and I think you do too, where you can almost track the thought process of the engineers, where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we have this brilliant idea where we're going to fit all of our mobile suits with this escape fighter, and then it's too expensive, so we're going to not do that anymore. Okay, well, what if we make the mobile suits transform into a fighter? Well, that makes them too flimsy, so we're going to not do that anymore. But then we're going to go back to those ideas later
Yeah.
because they were good ideas. We just didn't have the technology to pull them off at the time.
Yeah, that's a good point because by the time we get to Victory and all that, they went back to that. Well, actually, yeah, it was not even a transforming or core block, but it was like the thing itself was in the chest, seated
Like the
from the
docking
back.
fighter.
Yeah. I really like that. Yeah, so it was like that later you see that, yeah, they kind of went back to that. That's pretty cool. And then Jedi Sailor saying, also back on the subject of the Ga, it's Garma's signature ship. Got a Viking
Hmm.
funeral with it and everything. Yeah, and that's yeah, you kind of, if you guys ever played that SD Generation Genesis game, you start to really like the Ga because you depend on it a lot in the beginning when you're building out your troops and all that.
So then, you didn't answer the question yourself. What is your
Oh,
favorite ship?
that's a good one. If it's not just the core fighter, it's that crossbone core fighter. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I love carriers, and I love when you see waves of ships come out of carriers. So like in anytime, like yeah, the Pegasus class ships, right? Or the carriers. Yeah, they're the
Right.
one. Then they
With the two launch decks.
yeah, and they're kind of sometimes differently designed, as they have the different ones. Like I love that stuff because it's like that's where they're launching out to fight and all that. Yeah, I would say that. What about you?
Well, I mean, I was surprised to not see very much Xeon love in the chat there. So I'm gonna have to say
Mm.
that my favorite ship is the Guadin, Hamon's ship from
Ah,
Zeta and Double Zeta. It's,
okay.
yeah, I mean, it's the biggest Xeon ship in the fleet. Has, I think, I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly, 5 mobile suit
Hangers.
hangars. So
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's Haman.
yeah,
That helps too. And here's another Xeon ship. This is the
hey.
option parts set with the robot spirits, and I just put some thrusters on it. But yeah, sick stuff here. Good desk decoration.
Now, have you seen that core block goof? That's like a test type goof that where they saw the Gundam and they saw, hey, that thing has a core fighter in it. Why don't we design a goof that has a DOP that can dock into the middle of it? Um,
Hmm.
I feel like that would be right up your alley. It's one of those MSV mobile suits,
Yeah, here we go.
the
Goof
combined test type.
combined test type. Yeah, that is cool. I love the two shields on either side. That color scheme. Um, Interesting. Oh yeah, look at the back. I'll try to. So yeah, it's like the backpack kind of
Yeah, it's like
has its own thing going on. Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom of a DOP. Okay, little DOP. Interest. Oh well, it just takes me to the DOP. But okay,
Yeah,
that is very cool. Did you know information? Thank you, Stephen.
always happy to provide.
Um, yeah, I like that stuff. I'm gonna probably now it's on my mind. It's like I need to research that later. Okay, what's some other stuff? Oh yeah, here's the core booster. So it's it kind of takes that. I think it's been retcon, but like the G fighter that the core booster would plug into or whatever, or the
Yeah.
core fighter would plug into, and now it's like I yeah, they took that out, I guess, for the movies. Yeah, it's showing this. Yeah, this one is in the movie. Okay, so Oh, that means it wasn't even in the show.
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
replaced the
The
G
G Fighter.
Sky and the G Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't realize that it wasn't even in the old show, but yeah, they really did. Because yeah, I remember hearing about all the different changes they made, and that was one of them. Which that's a good change actually.
Yeah.
Even though I like the G Fighter.
And you know what? It gave us the Jet Core booster from 8th MS Team.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That is correct because of that. Yeah, that became a canon thing. What were some others I pulled up here? Oh yeah, the Nailogramma. This is a good one.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because this goes from doubles. See, that's another reason why I like Double Zeta so much, because this goes into Unicorn. Like from Double Zeta to Unicorn, like it's that other thing that makes uh Double Zeta relevant. Wait a minute, I'm thinking about something. Did anything happen in the movies that of Zeta that contradict Double Zeta that then would contradict Unicorn? I haven't really thought about that before.
You know, I haven't considered if there's any kind of far-reaching, um, you know,
Yeah, if there's like
changes that
a
would have.
sort of domino effect of how they changed. Yeah, I might look
I
into
mean, the
that
only
later.
thing that kind of stands out to me is like, well, if Camille wasn't crippled at the end of Zeta, which in the movies he's not,
Yeah.
you know, then where is he in Unicorn, right?
Well, yeah, because what's also interesting is at the beginning, the only reason Judo goes on the ship is because they had Camille in the hospital truck or the truck to sneak him back onto the ship. So then that wouldn't
Right.
have ever happened. But I mean, this is the ship that's later, though, right?
Right.
But the
Yeah.
event
So I think
still
it's
would
kind of
have.
halfway through Double Zeta.
Yeah.
The Argama takes some serious damage, and they have
And
to.
they upgrade it. But yeah, Judo wouldn't have been on the first ship to cause the damage. Did I just break or crack some code here? I don't know. That's something else I'm gonna have to look into later. Huh, man. Um, let's see. Brian Zanichelli saying he likes the core fighter from 079 also. Um,
It's pretty cool the way the wings fold out.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, Lucas Garrett is saying that reminded him a little bit of Dazzle Zaku.
Yeah.
That's
It's got that kind of decorative look to it.
Yeah.
That combined test type.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. Did I have any other? Oh, yeah, the Ptolemy. Or wait, Ptolemaeos, but I guess for short Ptolemy. Okay, I never connected that. You know what? This is a cool one. Even though I got to say the second one is cooler, but really, I would say yeah, the ship design here is better than the mobile suit design, at least for now, until it settles with me. But the other thing I like about this, it reminds me of things you'd see like in James Cameron movies, which kind of does that, call back around, Sid Mead, all that. But like in Aliens, the drop ship look, like it kind of has that to it. Yeah, I really like the look of it, and then it has the launch things here. So yeah, that's pretty good one.
It almost kind of has the same body shape as that ship from Alien, like the drop ship or Aliens, I should say.
Yeah. I thought I said that, unless I said another movie accidentally. Yeah, but yeah, totally Aliens right here, like the James Cameron stuff. Even Avatar. In Avatar, how it kind of had that kind of military design that they did.
Wait, did you just blow my mind? Did James Cameron do Aliens?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This whole time I thought it was Ridley Scott.
Oh, well, he did Alien. That's could be what you're thinking, but
you just changed my whole life right now.
Oh, really?
I need to go and delete some really nasty tweets I said about James Cameron.
Oh wow. Well, no, that is what is a crazy thing. Like, if you think about Aliens, even though this is not about aliens, although the 00 movie might be about aliens, if you didn't know, but the Sid Mead power loader, and there's even this quote in Aliens where, like, what is it? Ripley says something like, "Oh, I can pilot this. I have a class whatever license," And then Mirai says the exact same thing when they get onto the white base. So I feel like, and James Cameron's into mech stuff. And so like there's this connection when it's like Aliens, even Star Wars, Gundam. It's just kind of cool how there's these like creative connections to all that. The only thing is Star Wars needs mechs. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. With the
droids don't count.
The droids don't count unless they build something like C-3PO and there's an alien sitting inside, like one of those small aliens. Salacious Crumb, Jabba's little dude. What if he was controlling a protocol droid? That needs to be the next Disney Plus show. Yeah, it should be where there's certain points within the Star Wars continuity that C-3PO was really replaced by a Salacious Crumb inside a protocol droid.
That would explain why he didn't recognize Darth Vader.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Because he's Salacious Crumb on board
Oh, wait a minute. And then Jedi Sailors like Star Wars has mechs, Battle of Hoth. Yeah, that's true. Even though I'm always thinking arms, bipedal. I mean, technically. So then the other way around. What if there was some battle in the Gundam universe you see where they deployed these like quadruped mechs like that were gigantic, like, and then a Gundam was riding it? Okay, that probably went a little too far, but no, I thought, but no, it's funny because like even though the walkers are mechs, I just do not.
There's something about humanoid mechs versus, animal or quadruped mechs. I mean, even the chicken walkers from, the ATSTs from Return of the Jedi. I still don't necessarily consider that a mech the same way that I would if you strapped a pair of cannons to its sides and it looked like something out of Battletech.
Yeah, which is a pretty interesting thing because wasn't there a time where there was some between Macross and Battletech, there was some crossover and like someone owned the design of a certain looking mech and they were able to sue if someone made a mech look a certain way. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, and that happened between Macross and Battletech. That happened between Macross and Transformers, the whole Jetfire Skyfire controversy.
Okay. So I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and Robert saying Trizoids.
I feel like we're kind of getting off into the weeds here.
Well, no, it's cool. We're getting near the end, and I think I've hit all the topics. Lucas Garrett, you're getting into Gundam build territory now, Adam.
Yeah.
Web Fox 100. There is an episode of Clone Wars where a small alien rode in a droid like R2-D2 for a spy mission. Oh, I bet. You know what? I have watched every episode of Clone Wars, but there were so many I forgot most of them. And then, you're getting ahead of yourself, Adam. Master Asia's Gundam rides a horse. A horse Gundam. Okay, yeah, that's again another G Gundam.
And yeah, Robert, I am a big Zoids fan. The Berserk Fury was my favorite Zoid.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen. Robert even has some drawings he's made of Zoids, but I'm not too familiar with them. Let's see, and then Zeonic Fenrir. Have you seen the Sand Angler from Advance of Zeta reboot? It's an amphibious ship based on the Mad Angler submarine. So Sand Angler. Let me look that up real quick.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be misremembering this. So the Mad Angler was Char's submarine, right?
Oh, let's see. That's actually right here. Let's see. Is the submarine class of the Principality of Xeon featured? Yep, in that. Let's see.
And this was probably the only time that you see a similar callback, but I'm pretty sure, and again, chat is going to correct me on this, Zex Marquise from Gundam Wing, his unit is called the Mad Angler Squadron when he's hunting Hiro Yui on Earth. I want to say that the Mad Angler Squadron was his No,
I'm looking that up. I'm not seeing.
I might be misremembering.
But
anyway,
was Char's.
Let's look at the Sand Angler because
No, but that was Char's ship for sure. Yeah, they don't even have any other captains. Oh, is this a real type marking version? And of course it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Huh. Yeah, and then Sand Angler. Let's see. Okay, well, it was showing pictures a second ago. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. That is, wait, is there multiple pieces of it and they combine? That's insane. If that's true, unless they're just trying to show the size of different things. I don't know, but that's interesting because that is pretty intriguing, yet there's not much details about it. First seen in 91. Mars Xeon Independence Army. Man, that's getting into some territory that I'm not too familiar with it, but that is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Advance of Zeta stuffs. I mean, yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like that amphibious Gazaum is one of the coolest designs I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That some of the amphibious stuff is actually pretty cool. And then like in Wing, how they kind of even did more with that. Oh, and then even the stuff in War in the Pocket and Thunderbolt. I like how, especially in Thunderbolt, they make it feel like you're in space because it's that whole darkness, emptiness that you could just kind of fall into. And
terrifying.
Yeah, they're able to.
Speaking of Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you need to watch Aliens again, and then just think of like how much it's influenced by Gundam.
Yeah, absolutely.
And potentially the Starship Troopers anime that was based on, that was a Japanese show based on the original book.
Yeah, I mean the book was much more mecha than anybody who liked the Starship Troopers movie from what was it, the 90s or early 2000s?
90s. It was like 97 or something.
I mean, it was fun. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it for, a popcorn flick. But yeah, I mean, compared to the book and compared to the anime where you get to see some of these power suits and stuff. Oh man.
Now I don't know if you know this, but there are some follow-ups to the movie. Like there's live action and then there's canon CGI anime from Japan. And I've watched them and they're good. And they do have mechs in them. So it actually gets really good. I've always loved Starship Troopers. The thing I love about it is the number of bugs and how they can just like kill you so easily. But then the number of, it's just like Aliens. The same reason I love Aliens. And that's the thing. Like Aliens has the power loader, which was again part of the original Starship Troopers, and the Starship Troopers movie didn't, and that would have James Cameron pretty much made a Starship Troopers, I guess, with that Aliens movie. I'm still blown by the fact that your mind is blown away about that.
Well, I mean, for all these years, I was giving Ridley Scott all this credit. I was like, man, he must be a hardcore Gundam fan to be dropping in all these like these Gundam lines, and he's making mechs and stuff. And I was like, oh man. As bad as Avatar was.
yeah, I didn't really like that too much, but that's interesting because with James Cameron too, it's like Aliens was my favorite movie of his, and then Terminator 2 was great, but that's kind of it. But it's cool because with both Aliens and Terminator 2, he made a sequel that to some is better than the original. Even though I mean, Alien is good for its own thing, I think, but I like Aliens better because I like the action aspect.
The Colonial Marines is, I mean, that inspired an entire generation of sci-fi stuff, you know, from Warhammer to Halo to,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, cool. You know what? I think that's it. I think we've covered everything we were going to today. Steven, you have anything you want to add at all?
No, I mean, that was all Gundam and then some, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just cool because like Aliens, Star Wars, there's these things we like about Gundam that are in these other properties, and sometimes it's cool to see the creators behind them because they would fit in our chat if we were, live streaming together. Like these people that have made these movies, it's like we all like that same stuff, and it's just cool how it's all like the same.
And what a dream come true for Sid Mead to then like, hey, we want you to come on and design some Gundams.
Yeah. Not only did he help concept the original movie they were going to make in the 80s, but then he went on to design for Aliens, the Power Loader, and then he did Turn A. So yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, and that's funny when it comes to Turn A and that whole mustache thing. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, "That's weird," but then I quickly got over it. I don't know, it just works.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, yeah, I think that's it, guys. Everyone, thanks for joining. It's always a ton of fun. Steven, thank you for being here.
Thank you as always for having me.
Yeah, I think next week both Steven and I will be out, so I don't think the podcast will be live, but there will be a podcast up for sure. So, yeah. Well, anyway, thanks, guys. Check the links in the description for all Steven's stuff when I'm on his podcast on Wednesdays, and then all the other fun stuff like Discord, Patreon, and all that. So,